Anatomy of an assembler program. There are three main elements found in every assembler program: the actual instructions, some directives to the assembler itself, and hopefully enough comments to sufficiently document what's happening in the program. The instructions are the heart and soul of the program. They define exactly how a certain task is to be done. Once a set of instructions is assembled, the processor can actually run or execute the program. Assembler directives are actions that are carried out during the assembly. They help set up addresses and define constants and variables that will be used during the program. Comments provide built-in documentation for the program. They help the reader to understand what the program is supposed to do, as well as providing basic program information. An assembler instruction is made up of four components: a label, the operation, its operand, and a comment. The most important of the four are the operation and the operand. These two together make up the actual instruction. The operation must be one of the mnemonics selected from the processor's instruction set. The operand specifies both the addressing mode and the actual data that the operation needs in order to execute properly. The label is used to mark key locations within a program. They're normally used to identify the starting point of the program itself and each of its subroutines. It also identifies repetition points for loops and the start of each option within a decision block. Comments document what's happening in the program. They should be informative, describing the task as it relates to the overall purpose. You may not need a comment for every instruction. Just make sure there are enough so that a reader can understand the purpose of the code. Assembler directives, sometimes called pseudo-operations, are actions that are carried out during assembly. These actions include identifying where in memory the program and vector areas are, defining any constant values that are used through the program, and reserving space for all the variables. Each assembler has a specific set of directions that it uses. This set will be available in the documentation provided with the assembler. It's important that you take the time to familiarize yourself with these directives. While comments are not actually required for an assembly program to assemble and execute, they're absolutely essential for two reasons. First of all, assembler languages, by their very nature, are a little bit cryptic. If you're not that familiar with the language, well-written comments provide an invaluable insight to what the program is supposed to do and how it's actually done. Secondly, every program, whether written in a high, mid, or low-level language, needs to provide some basic information about the program itself. As a minimum, this should include the program's name, author, purpose, creation date, and revision history. So as you begin programming in any assembler environment, remember that there are three main elements you need to familiarize yourself with: the processor's instructions that get assembled and executed, the set of directives that the assembler uses to assign addresses, define constants, and reserve space for variables, and finally, the syntax for defining any comments. Being aware of and using these three elements will make your assembler programming tasks a little easier to design, program, and maintain.